now, and things are not selling any better. Let me tell you, it
Oh
is,
dear.
real estate is crazy right now.
Hmm.
Crazy. Lots of listings, lots of power sales, lots of power
Yeah, I'm
sales.
getting a lot of like mixed signals from agents, so it's hard to really gauge. Some people are
Uh-huh.
like, "Oh, this has like become very productive," and other people like haven't done anything yet. I'm like, well, I don't know. You
No,
tell me.
it's not great. I mean, the
Hmm.
listings that are selling, at least in the areas I cover, unless you've priced them like really,
Hmm.
really cheap, they're still sitting. But I mean, again, I think a lot of it too, I don't necessarily think we can blame it all on tariffs and
No.
Trump and bank rate. I also do think that most of us had a really bad winter. The weather really wreaked havoc with
Hmm.
people, right? Where you don't go
Hmm.
out and shop. I just think it's a combination of everything for 2026, right?
Yeah. I think
I
we're
don't know.
coming right off the end of the whole Corona thing, and that really did a number psychologically on society. I think we don't actually know the full extent of it. And it's
Yeah.
it's that reparation stage now. It's maybe cooled off, and people are like, are we allowed to step foot into that territory of like maybe making a big purchase?
Yeah. Maybe do we say, I really want
Yeah.
it better? I feel like using the economy, and again, unless you've lost your job,
Mm.
that's a whole different scenario. But sometimes I think um, people will always find a reason not to buy. And then the saddest part of all for us as realtors is everybody's going to decide to buy at exactly the same time, and there's going to be
Yeah.
a surge. And then what I don't like is then we're blamed for it,
Mm.
right? Whereas we're the ones saying to everybody, gosh, like get out there if you've got a pre-approval. And if you can buy, my God, please go out there and negotiate a good price, right? But there's
100%. I
always
think
an
it's
excuse or a reason why they can't. No, I want to wait. No, it's the
mm,
interest rate. No, I'm not sure about the economy. Then it'll be something else tomorrow, right?
mhm.
The war in with
Yeah.
Iran right now is huge, huge in
Yeah,
people's
exactly that. It's like there's no perfect time, right? There's a funny old saying. It's like slowly then all at once. So that's what's going to happen every
yeah,
time. One or
yeah.
two people are going to buy, and everyone's going to point the finger and call them crazy, and then all of a sudden they're going to be the smartest people in the world. They bought at the right
But you know what
time.
the weirdest thing is too? You're so right. The weirdest thing to me is for the people that are able to buy, and not everybody is right now.
Hmm.
Like you've got to have a plan of action to save up and really be working in order to get your ducks in a row. But for those that are pretty much there, and are maybe just finding reasons not to, I look at what they're paying in rent, and I really think you have to sit down with them, and that really should come from the mortgage industry, but really
Hmm.
sit down with them and say, do you really understand that your mortgage is only going to be X, but yet you're paying this much in rent? Because I truly believe their rental amount in most cases will be larger than what their mortgage payment
Yeah,
will be,
I
right?
agree totally. I agree
But there
totally on that case.
it's a really psychological thing. I guess, oh, it's already 1 o'clock. My
I
goodness.
know. We've got a few people in here already. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Steve. How you guys doing?
Hey, slow but mighty. Our
Yeah, look,
problem
it picks up.
is close to the long weekend, and I
Hey,
apologize. I
it's
couldn't do
okay.
it on Tuesday. I just couldn't do it. Yeah. Yeah.
We get to do it now, so that's the fun part.
Perfect. So for those that are in here and we want to welcome you, let me put um sorry, 1 second. I haven't opened up my chat yet too, so maybe I should do that. Um sorry. Just want to say hi and listen. I mean, we're a small but mighty group right now, but lots of people will be watching this. I'm sure you guys have been on and kind of know my groove about agent locator leads, but honestly, we love to hear what you're experiencing as much as I like to give advice and would love to talk for the next hour nonstop. I do love me a microphone. But you know what? If we can help, if you have questions, jump in. This is about you. This is about us helping you. So let me open it up to you, Harris.
Awesome.
What are you noticing on the agent locator side? Are you just said there's a mix. Some agents say
It's
they're
a
not
mix.
busy. Yeah. Okay.
It's truly a mix. Some agents are literally telling me that this first quarter has been great for them. People are buying, people are actively out there. The rental market's hot
Mm-hmm.
as we expect. But in most
Yeah.
instances, I'm seeing a lot of leads coming in with intent. Like usual, you typically do have to consider that these are 12 to 18 month, nurture time frames, like usual.
Yep. Yep.
But people are transacting. They genuinely are. I mean, some agents that I helped onboard late last year, October, November, December, have already transacted once or twice this year, which is a great sign. I think that just shows you how well of a year it could be if it
I like
continues in
that.
this direction. So that's the feedback
Yep.
I'm seeing. Like I'm actively speaking to people daily, and it's a mixed bag. People are saying, last year wasn't very good. This year's turning out pretty
Mhm.
good. Where some people are like, last year was amazing, but this year nothing's happening.
We
So again, I
definitely
think,
had a slow start, I feel like. Like I feel like that spring market that usually kind of winds in February for
Mhm.
most of us. I think it was a little slower, but I'm gonna put a pause on you for a sec with respect because
No,
what I
please.
love that you just said, and I want to make sure that everybody in the group heard you. People that you helped, come on board in October, September, October are transacting now or you
Yeah.
know what are seeing it now. So understand, we're talking a minimum of 6 months of worth of work of staying in touch and nurturing, right, and working and sending listings to these leads. That's huge. The fact that in six
Gigantic.
months some of these people are noticing results, right? i
And
i
the thing
love that.
is, like, we have to consider that usually you start a new campaign for Google or Facebook. It takes time for these things to sort of calibrate and actually start generating genuine leads that might be interested.
Sure.
So if you
Yep.
consider that first 2 or 3 month window for a new agent, that's typically the hardest time. It's the make or break part, really.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
don't get your ducks in an order, it's what I say to most agents is when you start, your priority shouldn't be to convert within 6 months. Your priority should be to get so good at doing something, which is a workflow, the system, talking to people, that by the time 6 months comes and all those leads have sort of packed into the system, you're fluent with working through them,
Yeah.
right? You don't
Yeah.
get overwhelmed. You sort of know your system. You have your own, you've got your own routine, and you go, I'm starting here and I'm ending here, and whatever happens in between, that's the day.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
That's the thing we need to work on. And we've got a few more people joining us. Welcome, everyone.
Perfect.
And
Welcome. Welcome.
Tara
Nice.
mentioned earlier, if anyone has any questions, if anyone wants to speak, please click on that little raise your hand on the bottom, or you can put a
We want to
comment
hear
in the
from you.
chat. We can read everything. So
Yeah.
hop in,
We're good
hop
at
in the
that.
circle. Let's talk about this crazy thing called real estate.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I will be honest with you. I think that most of you have probably heard me say it's very few and far between when leads first come on that they want to actually go out and start looking right away. In the 10 years that I personally have been with Agent Locator, and then probably easily 7 years before that, buying leads with other companies. Um, I have had them. I have had leads come in and then immediately want to start looking at homes within a matter of minutes, if not days. But I do notice right now, and this has been a trend for me, that it definitely is pushing around the 7 months to 2 year range, where what I'm noticing now is where these people now are starting to really engage and get ready to start seeing houses and transact.
Hmm.
So, that being said, the mindset that we need when the leads first come in still has to be extremely positive. We still have to look at these people and hope that they're going to do something sooner than later, but also be just as happy to work with them or to engage with them or to continue nurturing them until they are ready. So the
Mhm.
longest, for those that haven't been part of our webinars before, the longest one I have had, a lead that I've continued to work, has been close to 10 years. And that
Wow.
honestly is the one that just closed on Monday, was Monday the 31st, whenever the
Yeah, I
31st
think it
was,
was. Yeah.
Tuesday. It's flying by. So I'll give you kind of a backstory. They weren't an agent locator lead. They were a lead that I was using with another company. So I've been with Agent Locator exactly 10 years. I started in 16. So they came with whatever other company it was that I was using. So because I'd switched companies, I exported from one, imported into Agent Locator. And back then, we didn't have the ability to send them listings. So we still had to send them listings from our own MLS system. Um, so for 10 years, they were very specific. They were an older couple, are an older couple, and a lot of people wouldn't hang in that long. I did because I understood A, there's a deal here. And that's what I always say to my team when my team says, "Hey Tara, this people and I've been working and this is what they say." In my mind, I start processing and going, "Okay, is there a deal here or could this be a tire kicker, right?" And there are
Mm.
tire kickers.
Oh,
I
goodness.
knew there was a deal with these people, but I also knew these people needed time. They needed TLC. They had a process. They had sold their farm to a builder, their farm that they had had for 40 years. And we're talking 100 acres. And they were now renting their farmhouse that they raised their children in from the builder. It was so difficult for them to part. Plus, everybody, they didn't need to because the builder was years away from developing and said, "I'm going to make sure you guys have plenty of notice, but stay here, work the land, you do you. I'm good until I'm ready."
Mm.
So we kept seeing homes very specific to what they needed, maybe one or two a year. It wasn't a lot because this move was very difficult for them, even though they had already sold to this builder. Their heart was still on this farm.
Wow.
So now they call me up. This was in November again. "Hey, Tara, can we go see this one?" It had just come on. When I first started showing them houses, we were at 1.5 was what they were looking at, which got them a beautiful home. But
10 years ago.
they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. They were still renting this town farmhouse they had raised their kids in. Like, this is the unbelievable story of some people where I just kept saying to myself, "There's a deal here. Keep being there for them, Tara. Just keep doing it." This home came up. The builder still hasn't given them notice that they're ready to leave, but they also call the city every year and say, "How close is he? Do you think he's getting close?" Because they have to be proactive. For the last 2.5 years, of course, now prices have climbed up. And I've been saying to them, "Guys, even if you secure something and rent it out to somebody else, we started at 1.5. Now these same houses are 2 million that you're looking at. Like, anyhow, they did it. They pulled the trigger. I couldn't believe it. They bought 2.15 with me. I'm not bragging. I'm just here to tell you that staying on the course, not giving up on these people who came in as a lead because it wasn't my timeline, right?
Mm.
It was theirs. And they closed this house, I guess it was Tuesday, whenever the March 31st was. And guess what? They're not moving in because they still don't have notice from this builder. And the house they bought is so beautiful. It's so beautiful.
Goodness.
But guys, do you see what I mean? Would the paycheck 10 years ago have been lovely? Sure. Is it just as lovely whenever they do make the
Mm.
time for them? Yeah, because there's that added thing for me that says it's a great paycheck, but you know what? They did it when the time was right for them, and they love the fact that I never gave up on them. Not once did I ever show them I was frustrated. I kept saying, okay, if this isn't the one, guess what? There's more tomorrow. We'll keep in there. I'm not going anywhere. And they always say to me, we love that about you.
Mm.
Do you guys get what I'm saying? Right?
And
It
it's a
was,
pat on the back moment, Tara, when you consider
oh,
not a lot of people are
yeah,
willing to put in that much effort in nurturing a group of people. 10 years is a long time, right?
it
That's
is.
essentially an extended family.
It is. It is.
So
Yeah.
congratulations. That's amazing.
No, I appreciate it. But just to give everybody that hindsight, whenever we do get the paycheck, it's still great no matter how long it takes. But the bigger fulfillment is we proved that we're not just transactional. You can prove to these people that it's not about money for you, even if really you do need that paycheck. Who doesn't need to pay their bills, right? Ultimately, I always look at the future business I'll get by simply saying, "Hey, it's okay. I'm not going anywhere. Let's look at more," right? Because ultimately, if the deal is there, it will happen, right? So, anybody's thoughts on that? Are you finding the same thing? I just had a lead reach out to me about a property. She's been on my system for about a year, just before I logged on here. Man, I've been nurturing her. Oh, she doesn't even reply to me that much. It's frustrating, but I stay on it. And she just sent a get in touch form, my very first one ever from this lady, with all of my follow-ups that I do, just checking in. How are you doing, Phyllis? Are you okay? Right? And she just said, hey, right? You never know.
You strike while iron is hot, but you never
You
know when
never
it's hot
know.
because, yeah.
Yeah.
We do have a
Yeah.
question here, Tara.
Oh,
It
okay. Okay.
says, pretty much, from what I can tell, it's asking about timelines. So if, for example, a lead tells you that they want to move in 12 months,
Yeah.
what course of action do you take as the agent? Do you wait the 12 months and then really kick it into gear, or do you
No.
assume that 12 months is just a safeguard that they're using to say, try not to call me for 12 months, but in reality, they could be moving sooner rather than later?
Listen, if I had a nickel, well, I should be retired, let me tell you. But buyers are liars for sure. I feel like, and quite honestly, some could be telling you the truth for sure. We're not here to say they're not. But I mean, I've had buyers tell me, don't show me anything with an in-ground pool. And if that same buyer 30 days later didn't buy a property with an in-ground pool, I'm the one that said, you didn't want, why are we looking at this house? No, I really like the house. And he bought it, right? So I look at it this way. If they tell me it's 12 months, if they say it's 5 years, if they say I'm only in early stages, my reply is always the same. Not a problem. I want you to take your time. When the time is right for you, I will be here. And I continue to treat them the same as I would treat even people that are in my car. They get listings sent to them every day. They get my email drip campaign and they get my additional touches that I do and check-in calls and so forth. I've learned so many different examples that when I say, listen, you're not wasting my time just seeing some houses. If you want to get a feel for what the market is like, I'm okay with that. Again, I'm not going to run with somebody that could never qualify for a mortgage. That's not what I'm saying. But when you've got somebody that says, listen, yes, I want to buy, I think I'm about 12 months out. Maybe it's I'm thinking about retiring or there I got a job transfer. I'm always the one to say, let's meet, let's start. But don't give up on them. Don't give up. Here's the deal. If you give up on them, somebody like me is going to get them, right? And I don't want your leads, right? I don't want to collect leads because an agent just wasn't doing their follow-up the same way. Now, guys, be very careful with your follow-up. If you're treating them like you want them to get in the car sooner than later, they're really going to get upset. Always acknowledge the fact that you know what, they're looking in about a year.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hi, Ramita. You good to go, my friend?
Hello. Okay,
Hello.
I have a. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. Excellent. I have a question. So, I do all the emails and the, calls. I don't always leave messages when I'm nurturing a lead. So, first of all, what's your take
Okay.
on that about leaving messages on their voicemail?
Okay. Okay.
And the second one is if you do leave messages, what do you kind of say when you know that they're still 6 months out, but you just kind of want to let them know that you're here and you're thinking of them and you're
Yes.
keeping an eye on them?
You already
Amazing
know the
question.
answer.
Oh,
Right? This is the whole thing with me and how I become successful at converting leads. This is about them. It's not about me. I'm going to do a check-in phone call 100%. I leave a message 100%. If I don't leave a message, then they're going to mark my number as spam or report me. Remember, your name is going in their inbox every day. Every day they're getting to know Ramita, Ramita, Ramita,
mhm.
right? So now you leave a message and you say, hey, it's Ramita. I just wanted to call and say thank you so much for coming on my site. I really appreciate it, Sue. Just so you know, this is my direct cell number. If you ever have a question or need anything about real estate, just send me a text. I'll answer you right away.
Amazing.
That's it.
Okay.
Right? Like, doesn't that make sense if they now can connect your phone number with the name that's coming in? Especially because with Twilio, they get that other number, right?
Mhm.
Right?
Right.
Yeah. So when I've left messages before, one time in particular, I left the same type of message, just, hey, it's Tara, blah, blah, blah. The girl called me back about 3 hours later and she said, hey, Tara, it's Lindsay. And I'm like, oh, hi. She goes, I just wanted to say, thank you for leaving me a message. And your message was so nice and it was so non-salesman that when I'm ready to buy a house, it's going to be you. And I
I
thought
like
to
that.
myself, oh my Lord, okay, like it's just that soft approach really does, for the most part, appeal to people rather than a hard salesperson type approach. Hi, Crystal. We're not
Hi.
ignoring you. Sorry, love.
No, you're talking. It's all good.
No, sorry, love. This
Welcome,
is a
Crystal.
Q&A session. We
Oh,
love it.
nice.
Yes.
Nice. Good.
So I'm going to fall back. Any other questions anybody has? What are you finding, Crystal? With Harris was saying he's seeing some agents say they're a little busy right now. Other agents are, pounding the pavement and trying to get
Hmm.
action. Yeah,
Yeah.
you,
I think right now there's a lot of caution. Um, and some people are a little more cautious than others, and the uncertainty with everything and what they're seeing as far as market stats and sales year over year. Some brokerages, I know one client, they said their brokerage says it's not looking good. So she was kind of like, kind of gave her little bit more fear in throwing money at systems and
ah,
things like that because she's like, no one's doing anything. I said, well, you've talked a lot about the pillars. I'm like,
Mm.
this isn't your only pillar. So what are you doing outside of your leads to generate business for yourself? Because you
you
can't
need to
just,
refer her to my beat
yeah,
program. This
it's,
is
yeah,
it. Yeah,
you can't just solely rely on one source for
I
our
know.
income, right? So there's transactions are happening, right? It's just how are you going to get one of those or multiple of those transactions happening for you? So,
And I think that's a great thing, everybody. We're here to talk about how to convert leads and stay in the right mindset, which we have to do. This is a perfect example. I don't want to dog you said it was the broker of record or the
mhm.
owner.
It
I
was
don't want to
some sort
dog
of team
them.
meeting. Yeah, it was team meeting.
Yeah. However, if I'm struggling in my real estate, what I know I need, and I believe all of us need, is positive reinforcement, right?
Hmm.
So I truly, with the 30 years I have in this industry, I've seen really difficult markets. 2025 was a really weird one that I hadn't really ever seen before, and I've seen full crashes.
Hmm.
However, people are still selling real estate. It's not like, all of us are going to the welfare system, right?
Hmm.
So the ones that are consistently producing are the ones that have 3 to 5 pillars of their business. What are they working on to feed and bring in leads from all
Hmm.
different areas?
Yes.
This is one area. And that's where I think for you guys, I love leads. I love leads. Even if money's tight, I love them because if things are slow, when my phone goes off that tells me a new lead's just registered, there's hope for business, right?
Hmm.
Those leads are already my clients and they don't even know it. That's my mindset. Okay, Tara, you got another lead. Come in. Come on now. We got to get
Yeah.
working. What are we doing with these leads? How are we operating? So I'm gonna backtrack and I'm talking a lot. I'm really sorry. I've only had 2 cups of coffee. It sounds like I had an espresso. Um, but I like to send out open house invitations to my leads whenever I'm doing an open house. But I'm not gonna lie to you. Um, Boy, there can be a lot of Karens in that mix, right? So let's say I've got Mississauga as an area, and I've got a really great listing in Whitby. Typically, if you send them an open house invitation, listen, if you want to drop in and there's always going to be some people that go, this isn't where I'm looking. I don't understand. It's not even in my price range. Even though you say, if this isn't for you, maybe it's for someone you know. Like,
Yeah.
you can have the disclaimer right
Hmm.
in the email, they're not going to see it and they don't care. So when I send it out, I hold my breath because I'm like, here we go. Let's watch
Yeah.
the train wreck happen, right? This time last week, I didn't. And I really sit and monitor and think. I try to guess why the reaction is so positive. So my listing that I had in Whitby, I buy, you guys all know, I buy leads in multiple different areas. And even if I'm not buying in that area anymore, they're still on my agent locator and they still get sent by the tag group, just listed, and open house invitations. So I sent out, I think our count was about 1,900 in different areas. I did for the leads I had in the West End, I did Durham, and I did some in Northumberland because there are mixes coming to
Hmm.
Whitby in those areas.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta tell you something. 25 replied back to me in 2 days, which is huge. It sounds like a large number that you sent out, but the fact that they replied back, nobody was mad at me, not one person, thankfully. Nobody unsubscribed. And everybody that replied back said, oh, this is my dream home. I wish I could. I can reply back and say, oh, me too. Listen,
Hmm.
what are you pre-approved for? Right? I can start the conversation. 6 of them said, wow, I love this home. This might be on my wish list. Can you send me the full listing? Again, guys, I didn't sell the house from it. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it opens up a door of communication that sometimes even my drip hasn't opened up yet. Right? Right? So it was amazing. And no one
Yeah.
subscribes. Not
Well,
one.
that's good. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Right?
It's like goals. You're like, sweet.
I got an interesting
But I'm
question
Yay.
for
finding,
you.
go ahead, Harris.
Oh no, I'm sorry, Crystal. I cut you off there.
Oh no, and I'm thinking right now too, and Harris might be able to agree, with the way things are kind of shaping out, and we're having to work a little bit harder for our business. Uh, Clients seem to be a lot more in tune with the training and wanting to learn and actually applying what they learn it, because they know that, before we could be a little bit passive about it and, they're there and I can go back to it. Well, now it's more of, okay, I need to learn these systems. I need to make this start working for me because I've
Yeah.
got all this in here and there's opportunities. So there's been a shift, I think, with that on its own,
Mm-hmm.
of people
Mm-hmm.
actually wanting to take the time to better understand systems to be able to use it to their advantages.
Mm.
Interesting. So you're noticing that with a lot of the clients.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. It's just like most of them, they'll actually start applying what you're showing them, like, or they're wanting to learn more, right?
Yeah.
I want
We're
to be
all
able to do
guilty.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what, everybody that's listening right now, do you guys have systems in place? And I know with my Beat the Market training program, it really does talk A to Z about how to kind of um, get systems in place and ultimately hold ourselves accountable because we're our own worst enemies. Everybody wants us exactly at the same time in real estate. You can pick your nose for 6 months and then for the next 3 months, you can't even go to the bathroom because everybody needs you, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I
Hmm.
still think that going back to what you both said earlier about systems is when we have at least something time blocked, right? Where we know, okay, I might have to get up earlier this morning if I'm showing 10 houses this afternoon because I still need to make sure that my leads are taken care of. And you know what I mean? I've written my personal notes or I've done my networking event. Really, really have to do it. It's key in this type of market, which is a little bit, I want to say it's unstable, but I do truly, truly, truly believe that every realtor out there is still working really, really hard to even just get that one deal done.
Mhm.
It's just
Yeah.
not for granted anymore. No, nor was it really ever. But yeah, yeah. Do
I
we have
think
any other
too,
questions?
Well, one thing I typically
Okay.
notice when I speak to people, and I don't know if Crystal kind of feels this as well, but people get really excited when they join something like Agent Locator and they sort of want to try out everything. So they want to get their hands into just about everything. I want to send newsletters. I want to send mass text messages. I want to do
Yeah.
this. I want to customize campaigns. I want to do all this. And then it's just an overwhelming experience because you realize the system is quite large. It allows and caters for all of that. But I think what happens is you get lost because you're trying to do everything just a little bit. Instead of really honing in and zoning on that one or two things that works really well, that's guaranteed to help you convert people. Communication is key. I think that's the
Hmm.
biggest thing people sort of disregard as valuable or they don't weigh it heavy enough, I think. But I honestly, instead of sort of like taking the whole entire system on board at one go, I think people should really focus in a little bit closer and say, I want to really get good at one particular thing. I want to get really good at making a phone call. And that requires me to set up a system where I follow a schedule. I block off time every day. I stick to that schedule, like you said. If I have 10 showings today, that means I have to get up a little earlier to make sure I make those calls. Then I
Yeah.
have to follow up with people. I have to ensure I'm really good at customizing their search criteria. These are
Hmm.
going to be way more valuable than the newsletter that you send out to 100 leads, in my opinion. But once you get
Yeah.
really good at doing all of that, the newsletter is the icing on the cake
Yeah, you can
because
always
that's like,
build.
hmm,
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. You know what? I've worked for years to build these templates within Agent Locator so that I can quickly whip out, these other touches. But ultimately, you have to have a system for how these leads are going to get worked, right? Right. So even if you do have leads as a pillar, which all of us do, really, leads as a pillar, now we got to figure out what each step is that we're working that pillar, right? It's not just the pillar. We got to create the plan for the pillar, right? Well, we know we need an email drip. We know that in the email drip, it needs SMSs and it needs emails, right? We also know that we're going to have to create a day so that we can call our leads as well to introduce our voice, as I call it, right?
Mhm.
Then maybe once a month, we're going to incorporate a newsletter, right? So it's breaking down each pillar and adding your plan of action, right? If it's Christmas time and you want to do a Christmas mail out to everybody, an email, right? That goes in there. That's what having systems are, is each pillar has a plan of
Hmm.
action, right? Start simple. If you're new to this, start simple, but you still have to define where's my business coming from, right?
Mhm.
You cannot just work one system, one pillar, you will run dry. Even I, 30 years in the business, let me tell you something. I was out door knocking last week for my open house. I got a team of 10 people. I was alone. I was alone. But I'll
Getting
tell
fresh
you,
air.
I wanted to go back to that seller and said, just so you know, I door knocked. I door knocked for your open house, and you're darn tootin' I did. Darn tootin'. That really aged me, didn't it?
You should have left a flyer on their door so they knew.
Yeah, I don't care. You know what? You guys want to sit home behind your I don't care. I'm going to show the sellers that I am doing everything to bring traffic into their home. What's the biggest complaint sellers have? We list it and we never hear them or see them again,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
So I'm
Selling to get.
always one step ahead. One step ahead. I'm going to keep telling you everything I'm doing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's great. Any more questions that you guys have? What do you guys that are on here encountering so far this, I'm going to say spring market that isn't
We're
as
waiting
hopping
for it.
as we would like it to be. But
No, but did you
yeah.
see the report? So the REM magazine, which I love, that does the
Yeah.
email version,
Hmm.
TD is predicting, the economists with TD Bank are predicting a surge of buyers. Again, this wasn't going to be tomorrow. It was definitely within, if I'm not mistaken, it was within from now to the summertime some point.
Hmm.
Then I was talking to my business partner, Chad, who's been on with us before.
Yeah.
And he's not only is he a realtor, he's a mortgage broker, but he's also has a wealth and finance management company. CIBC released a similar report. So I think, again, it looks like there's going to be attraction, but it's just like we said. Everybody's
Hmm.
going to decide to look at the same time. We're not going to have enough inventory. Prices are going to go crazy. And that's the saddest part for me
Hmm.
is there's such a perfect opportunity now for everybody. But
Yeah.
the two of the top banks are saying we believe a surge in buyers is coming.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Sorry, I see we have a question.
No, it's just it's Noelle because she sent me an email about the registrations, but I really don't know, Noelle. Like
Oh,
you're here, so you obviously got the links somehow. I don't know where those email. They might be going into a different folder, but if you had already registered for them, that could also be why you didn't get a thank you for registering emails because you had previously registered. But it's the same link every single time. So as long as you have the links, like this link that you joined today, it's going to be the same link every time you want to join Tara's webinar.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I asked the same thing. How many times, Crystal, have I said
I
to you,
know,
where's
what's
the
the
Zoom
link?
link?
And I'm like, it's the same one.
I
I've
know.
done it where I got to go back in my calendar. I'm like, okay, there's the link, right?
I know. You poor I know, it's true. It's true.
It's, I think, yeah, it's because it's reoccurring. People just audit, like they think, generally speaking, a general
Yeah,
Zoom webinar, you'd get a
yeah,
different thing every single time. No, this is the same one because it's reoccurring. So
yeah.
you can join in
I've
here
learned
on
now. I
tomorrow
no
if you don't
longer
want to
ask
be
that
here.
question.
Yeah, it's the same one. It's the same one as always. And even if you do join
I
the wrong one,
think
you can join as a guest and just pull you back up. So,
exactly, exactly. I
yeah.
really appreciate everybody coming on. I think that we're all wishing business was easier for sure. For me personally, the amount of listings that we have right now is absolutely phenomenal, and they're certainly not flying off the shelves. And we've got more coming up. I'm seeing a lot more power sales, a lot.
Wow.
Um, we were talking to someone, not was it last week, who was just speaking. Oh, we had a lunch and learn with the brokerage, and it was a lawyer in Oshawa, an Oshawa real estate lawyer that said he was working on a power of sale deal and was talking to the power of sale lawyers that the banks hire.
Mhm.
And this one was in Toronto. And that lawyer for the bank said right now they had 3,000 foreclosures
Wow.
on their desk
It's I think people are
for
waiting.
that particular bank. for that
for
particular
that
bank.
bank. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a lot though when you put that into perspective. But it's also kind of like I'm thinking like marketing angle. Let's get you sold before the bank catches like or
I've said
something,
this a
right? Because
million
people are hoping
times.
or they're doing whatever and
Yes,
it
they
just
wait too
doesn't
long.
work. They wait way
So
too long. And it's like, you know what, let's break even. It really sucks to break even, but you know what's way better than going into
wow.
a foreclosure, right?
And
It's
I think what we're seeing is we're seeing the COVID people. That's where I
mhm,
think the COVID buyers clearly, because remember, they all bought. And then
mhm.
what happened in 2024? We had, was it 6 or 7 interest rate hikes,
Yeah.
right? If you
Hmm.
were on variable, I'm telling you, like these people were absolutely crushed,
Yeah.
crushed. Now, 5 years later, they're renewing their term. How can you afford it? You
You
know,
can't. Yeah, yeah.
my son bought during COVID. I just put his house on the market now, but when he bought, I think it was 2021, he got 1.59%.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
you think about
Triple
where these
that.
are coming from, that's where it's coming from.
Yeah.
Sadly, right? They bought at ridiculous amounts of prices, but now what are we selling them for? 600,000, 700,000, and they bought at 1.2
Yeah.
because it was a panic sale. Everybody panicked, right? That's the
Yeah.
sad part. So I've always said this. If you guys haven't been part of my webinars before, watch again. I've always said you should be the first one to reach out to leads, your past clients, your sphere of influence. When you see what we saw in 2024, where the rates were constantly hiking up because our inflation was bad, right?
Yeah.
We need to be active and say, hey, Bob and Sue, it's Tara. I'm just checking in. With the interest rate hike, so people have a lot of questions. I'm here and I can get a mortgage specialist in to answer anything that you need. I truly believe that we have to be the first line of
Hmm.
defense because if we introduce ourselves to them, showing, listen, we're all facing this together, I'm here, maybe if they're losing their property or think they might, they'll say, I think I'm in trouble, Tara, right? But if we don't, they're not going to think to turn to us
Yeah.
until it's
Hmm.
too late,
Hmm.
right? So there's a system for 2 of your pillars, your leads and your past clients in Sphere. There's 3 pillars right there for you guys, right?
You can also look
Always
at
do
the
a check-in.
transactions. Look at
Pardon me?
transactions. Then you look at their transactions that took place, all the sales that took place during COVID,
Yeah,
and be, looking for listing opportunities where
yeah,
no one else is, well, some people might be looking, but your competition just isn't there. So the
yeah,
majority of like a certain neighborhood or what have you is like, that's even a flyer drop in a door knock, right?
right.
Is really opening up an alternate opportunity for yourself when it comes to that and partner with somebody that deals with mortgages
Yeah,
to be able to do that. Right? I think
yeah,
mortgage ads right now, I think some of them, especially when it has to do with refinancing, reconsolidate, like all of that, they're performing not that bad because a lot of people are,
mhm,
they're in that bucket of,
sure.
needing something.
I think too, years and years ago, it's been a hot minute, but I was a preferred realtor for a couple of the local banks. And I got my foot in the door just by walking in and saying, listen, if your mortgage people ever need a realtor, if they ever want to ask real estate questions because they're getting it from their people, I'm here. 2 of the managers of both the banks really, really did like that. So they had started inviting me in on their Tuesday meetings, like they would meet before the bank
Mhm.
opened. And I ended up being what they called their preferred realtor. So, I got all of the leads for mortgages if somebody came in and said they didn't have a realtor, but I also got their power of sales. So again, we're salespeople. I'm just saying, in times like this, where we know that a lot of people are under the gun, it doesn't hurt to walk into your local bank and say, do you have a preferred realtor? Could I
Mhm.
come when you do your office meeting and just introduce myself? Because it did end up getting me a ton of business, a ton, a ton.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
especially during times like this. So it's food for
Yes.
thought, everybody. Food for
Yeah.
thought. Then if you
Mm-hmm.
can get yourself in the door, what a great way with your leads to,
Yes.
as long as we're following the Korea rules, to start introducing power sales as be the first to hear about it, right?
Yeah,
To our
absolutely.
leads. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See,
For sure.
positive thinking.
Yeah. Yeah. You just gotta look
That's where
for
you come up
the
with
pain
ideas.
point and be the solution.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's true. It's true. It's true. What's everybody doing for the long weekend?
I'm playing baseball.
Oh, is it started?
This is the first weekend, so I'll probably
Ah,
be pretty
there you
sore on
go. There you
Sunday, Monday,
go.
but it's fine.
Yeah. Is any of my realtor friends here with us? Are they showing houses? I am
Ramita is going door
booked.
knock.
Oh, look at that. Ramita is going door knocking. How good.
Oh, where
Seizing the
are you?
opportunity.
Where do you live, Ramita? Because you know me, I do love me some door knocking. I'm not gonna, oh,
Oh.
Oakville. Darn it all. You're a little too far for me. But if you reach out to me, never say never. I might come door knocking with you. I totally believe in support. When I go door knocking, I truly, unless I'm door knocking with an open house invitation,
Hmm.
um, I door knock with just my business card. And I simply say, hey, my name is Tara Baylis. I'm a local realtor. I just wanted to know if I could leave you my business card. If you ever have any real estate questions or needs, you know, would you just reach out to me? I had so much success in the summertime. I did a big thing with the brokerage I was with at the time. It was amazing. Everybody was so lovely. And actually, I had a lot of great conversations. So what did I do? Put them right into my CRM. And now they get monthly mailings from me, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's how you
Yep,
start. Okay.
absolutely.
Oh, we've got
So,
an open house.
so yeah, Sludgeon is
Says an
doing
open house
open
on her
houses.
birthday. Leverage your
Okay.
birthday at an open house. You say, you know what would be a great birthday gift if you put an offer in.
Ah! Yeah, make it rain, right? Make it rain. That sounds good. I do love that. We've got, I think we've got 4 open houses this weekend. You never know on Easter weekend. Like, you try to be respectful. So for
Mhm.
for the ones on my side of our partnership, I'm doing them on Saturdays. But you can get people, you cannot get people. But here's the beautiful thing about open houses is your sellers can see you working.
Hmm.
That's why I
Yeah,
really love doing them because
yeah.
they physically see us there
You're
rather
doing
than
something.
think, oh, she's not really doing
Doing
anything.
anything. Yeah,
Yeah, right?
exactly.
They're
And
perfect.
if it's a quiet open house, well, guess what you're doing? Working your leads.
100%. 100%. And you know what? Our strategy always is as well. Door knock before your open house. If you've got an open
Hmm.
house invitation, I just make them on Canva. It's no really big deal. But I always try to go, okay, where's my move up people coming? For those that are on the Realm system for PropTX, I guess it's called, they have what's called the list track. So when you click on it and you click on your listing, you can actually see all the online stats. So it shows you right from the best site, how many views they got, which is usually realtor.ca. And then it goes down to the next sites. Right down, I think it goes to 20. And then it shows you which cities have the most views of your listing. So I use that when I market all of my listings and my door knocking. So for instance, I'm going to give you for instance, my Whippy listing, of course, realtor.ca is the top site, right? It's got thousands of views. But when it goes to cities, the top people looking are from Oshawa, and the second is from Toronto. So for my Whippy listing, I went to that mid in between neighborhood in Oshawa. You just pick one. My Whippy listing is 1.7. So you know what I mean? I know it's probably not going to be a starter home townhouse that's going to move to this. It's going to be that 1,800 square foot home that's now going to
Hmm.
go to the 2,600 square foot home,
Yeah.
right? And that's what I use. And I use it as well when I do my sponsored ads on Instagram. I use that list track every single week to show me where the people are looking, and then I can target better. I used that for sending my open house invitations as well to my open houses last weekend on Agent Locator,
Mhm.
right?
Nice.
It's just
Use your
it's a click.
tools.
It's
Yeah.
a click. Okay, sorry. Yep. We've got door knocking.
How do you get
Do you want
to
me to? I
the?
got you. I got you. So, Ali has a question
Hi,
regarding door
Ali.
knocking.
Yep.
What's your threshold for cold weather, or do you only door knock in spring, summer?
No.
Also, do you have a farming approach?
I used to have a farming approach. What I found is unaddressed mail gets very, very costly, right? And you got to do it for a really, really long time. So if you're going to do unaddressed mail, even if it's every month, I mean, what do they say? At least 1 to 2 years, don't give up. So for me, it's always, okay, how can I keep my investment to the minimum? So I've done it. I've usually been the one that will do it for a year and then I'll stop, right? So that hasn't always been great for me. But I go by Brian Buffini now. Brian Buffini always says your biggest form of advertisement, your best farm area is where your for sale sign is and where your sold sign is. So wherever I have a listing, man, I'm all over that neighborhood and I'm in the move up neighborhood. So I'm really trying to focus that as my farming. And of course, following up with the people who are willing to talk to you when you're at the door, right? You got to put them in the system. You got to go on Geo Warehouse and get their names so you can send them a thank you for speaking with me and do all that. When it comes to weather, best door knocking experience I've ever had was Christmas Eve. It was freaking freezing. This was a few years ago. We were really trying to, my best friend and I were really trying to target a street. We've been doing it for about a year and a half in Oshawa, and we decided on Christmas Eve to actually go and door knock and wish everybody a happy holiday. We had great response. Great response. And we were freezing, but I don't go in the rain. And if it's minus 20, I just feel like you don't really look great out there. But I'm not a fair weather door knocker, right?
Uh,
Do you find like it's more successful in general to go door knocking during holiday periods since we have Easter coming up? Is it a good time to actually go door knocking, or would
I'm
you
I'm a
advise
little
against?
mindful. I'm a little mindful of people having days off work. And that's just me. There could be other agents that say on statutory holidays they have great success. I want to take a moment though and say, as realtors, we work 24/7. So, what I want you to do is I want you also to be mindful of when your family time is too. So, the
Mm.
old Tara would have brought the kids with her. We're door knocking. They would have got a donut when we were done because you got to pay them off somehow, right? And we do it and we do it. The older Tara looking back has some things that I would have changed. I would have said, no, I'm okay to not do real estate today unless somebody needs me and focus on my family. So I'm just a little mindful. Last summer with the brokerage that I was managing, I had what I called like a knock to close campaign. So from June right through into September, we went every day. I did Saturdays because some of our realtors actually did work full time. But we didn't start until 10 a.m. And it was just here's my business card. Is it okay if I leave it with you? And if you need anything, I'm here. And honestly, it was great. I was surprised. I wasn't sure if Saturdays, if we would get some hostile people. Everybody was wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah. How do I use list track? Okay. Are you on Realm, Ramita? You're probably on Realm. If you're on Matrix, I can't help you because I don't know the Matrix system that well. Okay. So, like the dots at the top right, that box of dots, what do you call that, Crystal? Is it the hub or something?
I don't know. It's sometimes like a hamburger menu or
Okay. 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 You know the, yeah.
dots.
Okay.
Click
So
the
the
dots.
all the dots at the top, right in a box. So if you click on that, that's where you get to your ad edit, your listing, inventory, geo warehouse, all of that. When you scroll down that menu, you're going to see an icon that says list track. Click on that and it'll bring up your listings. If you don't have any listings, it'll show empty, right? But that's how you get it. And it's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah.
For
All
those
right.
of you that
Do you
don't
have
have that, I'm sure
any
there's something
more
similar in your systems.
questions?
I'm sure. I'm sure. I think if most of us are from Ontario here, I believe we're probably all on prop text now. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. All right. Yeah. Any other questions? Anything you guys can think of?
I don't think
Paris,
so.
Crystal? No.
Well, you know,
I'm just carefully staring at the chat box, waiting for someone to put their hand
waiting
up.
for
It's like,
someone
come
to
on,
say
guys.
something. Say something.
Yeah.
Cornerstone and Treb. Okay.
Okay. So if you're with Trub, then you're probably on Realm, right?
I think
You're
it's
probably on Realm. So you can find that easy. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So just go into those dots on the top right and you'll see list track right in that menu. I think it's on the right-hand side as you scroll down more towards the bottom. But it's like anything else. These stats can really help you really, really, really own in on certain leads, right?
mm,
Power is everything for sure. But I hope everybody has a great weekend. I hope you
Yes,
guys
ma'am.
have a great weekend, right?
thank you, Tara. Oh, we got a
Okay.
question. We got a question just before we leave. Look at that. When
Okay.
I do open houses, I go all out. I look at it like I'm not going to sit there for 2 hours being bored. I put all of my listings on MLS on Wednesday from Thursday to when I have my open house on Saturday from 1 to 3. I do targeted marketing on Facebook through my brokerage on Kijiji, and I post it in open house groups on Facebook. On the day of my open house, my assistant, aka husband, puts all of my sandwich boards around a perimeter of where my listing is. Goodness me,
Great.
Noel. It sounds like you've got the whole thing planned out. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, what a great thing to report back to your seller that you've done,
Mm,
right? I love that. I think when it comes to doing open houses, there are a lot of realtors that really don't take it seriously. They show up close to, you got a 2 o'clock start time and they're putting their signs up at 1:56. And I think that if you really view it like, you're there, you're working, be committed. This is your sellers are paying us a lot of money. So do everything you got to do to get attention on
Mhm.
this. I love that. That's great. Great. Awesome.
And don't forget to use your blog posts on the website, guys. Write about the open houses that you go to as well. Like you can make it really fun. People do love reading content, believe it or not, even if it's not just about selling and buying. It could be about the actual experience, right? What you can expect
Mhm.
by having an open house, why you should come to my open houses, right? I'm gonna have Easter eggs on Easter if you come to my open house.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Those sorts of things are great. People get more familiar, more personal with the person that you are, because again, you are behind a screen for most of it. So the more you can kind of personalize with people, the easier it's going to be when it comes to that point where you get to meet them and speak to them.
I love it. I love it. I still have to do that. We're gonna have to figure that one out, I tell you.
Yeah.
We gotta figure it out. Crystal laughs. Oh, I know, I know. Well, everybody, is that it?
That's it.
Is that it?
It's a
Thank you,
wrap, it looks
everybody,
like.
for joining. This has been great. I'm honored. I'm honored. I hope
It's
everybody
been a
has a
pleasure.
great weekend. A great
Yes.
Thank you for having me again, guys. It's been an absolute
Yeah.
pleasure, and I guess we'll be back to normal recordings next session. So,
Next month.
Yeah. Yeah. Take care, Crystal, okay?
Awesome. Bye,
Bye,
guys. Thanks,
everybody.
see
Thanks
everyone.
you,
for
everyone.
coming.
Bye.
Bye.
Happy birthday, Slajana.